The heat over Ravendale Market Street shimmered like a living curtain, the kind that distorts sound and bends reality. Motorbikes growled, fruit vendors shouted prices, and the air smelled of dust, diesel, and frying dough. But all that noise collapsed into a single, trembling silence when someone screamed. A circle formed, fast, chaotic, bodies stumbling, people pulling their children close, others lifting phones high like shields. At the center of the chaos lay a long, dark green coil slumped near a broken crate, its tail twitching weakly, its scales dusty and scraped. The snake was injured, not striking, not hunting, just breathing with difficulty. Yet panic spread like wildfire. A shopkeeper shouted, "It's poisonous! Someone call the officers!" Another man snapped, "Why hasn't anyone killed it already?" Someone else muttered, "These creatures don't belong here. Just get rid of it." No one noticed how the snake's tongue flickered in confusion, not rage. No one looked closely enough to see fear instead of malice. 2 local wildlife officers rushed in, uniforms dusty, batons in hand. "Everyone step back," the taller officer barked. "We'll handle this." But handle, in their tone, didn't sound reassuring at all. The other officer whispered, loud enough for several people to hear, "If it moves again, I'm putting it down. This isn't worth the risk." The crowd nodded, fear disguised as agreement. A teenage boy protested softly, "Sir, it looks hurt." The officer snapped, "You know reptiles? No. Then stay out of our way." Phones recorded. Murmurs spread. Someone whispered, "This is going to end badly." But then, someone stepped through the crowd, quietly, steadily, with a presence that made a few people turn before they even saw her face. She wore a faded grey hoodie, a canvas satchel, and mud on her boots like she belonged more to mountains than cities. Her hair was tied back loosely, and her eyes, sharp, scanning, went straight to the snake, not to the crowd, not to the officers, straight to the suffering animal on the ground. One vendor scoffed, "Miss, don't go closer. Are you trying to get yourself bitten?" She didn't answer him. She crouched halfway, observing. The officer stiffened. "Ma'am," the taller one warned, "step away, this is dangerous." Her voice was calm, almost too calm for a scene this tense. "Your distance is fine, just don't provoke it." The officer blinked. "Excuse me." She pointed gently at the snake's side. "See the shallow." The taller officer stepped closer, baton tightening in his grip. "That's enough. Lady, move back, or we'll escort you out for your own safety." The woman's jaw tightened, still calm, but something flickered in her eyes. The kind of flicker people get when they've seen this scenario too many times. Animals feared, misunderstood, punished for human panic. She took a slow breath. "Don't hit it. If you do, you might trigger a reflex strike. It will bite to protect itself." The shorter officer scoffed. "It's the snake or us. Simple math." A ripple of panic spread. A woman pulled her daughter close. "See? That's why we don't go near these things." Someone else whispered, "If they don't kill it now, it might get loose." Crowd pressure began to tilt the officer's judgment. The taller officer raised his hand, signaling he was about to make a move. And then, the woman stood between him and the snake. The entire market gasped. "Move!" the officer barked. "No," she said quietly. The officer stepped forward aggressively. "You're obstructing an official wildlife response." She didn't blink. "You're about to make a lethal mistake." The crowd buzzed with shock. People filmed like they were witnessing the beginning of a scandal. The injured snake twitched again. The officer flinched. The baton lifted higher. "Ma'am, this is your final warning. Step aside." Someone shouted from the back. "She's defending the snake. What kind of crazy person is she?" Another yelled, "What if it bites a kid later?" Pressure built. Heat rose. Fear thickened the air. But the woman, she slowly reached into her satchel. Officers tensed instantly. "Hands where I can see them." "What are you pulling out?" The crowd leaned in. Phones zoomed. The woman didn't rush. didn't panic. She simply opened a small black leather holder and revealed a shining emblem, a badge, not a local one, not police, not forest department, a different symbol entirely. The officers froze. The crowd fell silent. Someone whispered, "Wait, what badge is that?" The taller officer's eyes widened. His voice cracked. You're with them?" She didn't smile. She didn't show pride, just calm authority. "I'm not here as a civilian," she said quietly. "I'm here as Seraph Unit." A murmur spread like shockwaves. Seraph Unit. A name whispered in wildlife circles. A rescue division so highly specialized that even officers deferred to them. The shorter officer swallowed hard. "Your call sign. What is it?" She closed the badge case with a soft click. "My call sign is Nightingale, and no one touches this snake." The market went dead silent. The officers lowered their batons. Phones shook in people's hands. And the woman finally stepped toward the injured, trembling creature, with the entire street watching. For a moment the world around her seemed to hold its breath. Nightingale knelt slowly, every movement deliberate, every breath measured. The injured snake lifted its head just barely, weak, defensive, terrified. She whispered softly, "It's all right. I'm here to help you. No one's hurting you today." The crowd watched in a reverent silence. One mother whispered, "She talks to it like it understands." A man replied, "Maybe it does." Nightingale removed a small rolled mat, unfolding it beside the snake. She inspected the swelling near its ribs, the bruising across its scales, the dried blood from where someone had stepped on it earlier. "It's a young male," she murmured, "eastern vine serpent. Not aggressive, unless cornered." She gently slid a padded hook under the snake's midsection. The officers flinched. Several people gasped. But the snake did not strike. It simply collapsed in exhaustion. She lifted him with expert precision and placed him onto the mat. A siren wailed in the distance. Moments later, a specialized wildlife ambulance pulled up. The back doors burst open, and a woman in forest green uniform stepped out. Chief Ava Renly, head of Regional Wildlife Medical Corps. Her eyes widened the instant she saw the emblem on Nightingale's badge. "Your Seraph Unit?" Her voice carried disbelief, awe, and relief all at once. Nightingale nodded. "Snake. Crushed rib. Hypoxic. We need thoracic stabilization." Chief Renly snapped into action without hesitation. "Get the oxygen case. Prepare containment tube 3. The officers stepped back so fast it looked like the ground had burned them. The crowd began murmuring, "She knows the chief." "Who is this woman?" "She saved that animal. We almost killed it." And for the first time since the chaos began, compassion replaced fear. Nightingale lifted the snake with both hands, her movements careful but confident. Chief Renly held the stabilization cradle steady. "On my mark," Nightingale said. 1, 2, support the spine. 3. They placed the snake inside the padded containment tube. The creature let out a long, trembling exhale, as if understanding that help had finally arrived. Renly adjusted the oxygen inlet. Nightingale started compressing a micro-respiratory bulb. A man in the crowd whispered, "She's giving it CPR?" Another replied, stunned, "You can do CPR on a snake?" The officers exchanged embarrassed glances. The snake's tongue flickered weakly. Nightingale leaned close, her voice barely above a breath. "Stay with me. You've survived this far. Stay with me." Seconds stretched. Then, a stronger breath, a clearer flick of the tongue, a faint but unmistakable sign of life. The crowd erupted in relieved gasps. Chief Renly exhaled. "You saved him, Nightingale. Without you, we would have lost him before transport." Nightingale didn't celebrate. She just whispered, "He did the hard part." The taller officer stepped forward, shame written across his face. "Mom, I owe you an apology. We misjudged the situation. And you." She looked at him, calm but firm. "Fear is natural, but decisions made from fear can destroy innocent lives. The officer lowered his head. "You're right. I'm sorry." The shopkeeper who had suggested killing the snake cleared his throat. "I didn't know they felt pain like that. I didn't even look properly." Nightingale stood, wiping dust from her knees. That's why compassion matters. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to care enough to pause and think. The market grew quiet, not fearful, not chaotic, just thoughtful. As Chief Renly prepared the ambulance doors, she called out, "Seraph unit, we could use someone like you on the ground more often." Nightingale gave a small, tired smile. "I go where the voiceless need me." The doors closed. The ambulance rumbled away, carrying the recovering snake to safety. The crowd slowly dispersed, but their faces bore something different now, a softened understanding. A mother whispered to her son, "See? Every creature deserves a chance." And the boy nodded, eyes bright with newfound empathy. Nightingale slung her satchel over her shoulder, stepped into the fading sunlight, and disappeared into the marketplace as quietly as she had arrived. But her words lingered long after she was gone. It is choosing kindness, even when fear is loudest.